Oh, my name is Alistair McGrath, and I'm a professor of theology in London and England, and for many years I studied the natural sciences in Oxford. If you believe in God, it gives you a new motivation for doing science. Because if you're a Christian, you'll say, well, God creates things, and therefore something of God's character is known through the natural order. And I think of Psalm 19, verse 1, the heavens declare the glory of the Lord. I think for me that is really saying that we can appreciate God's beauty and God's glory even more by studying nature in depth. I think many will hear the phrase a Christian scientist and say, no, you're either a scientist or you're not a scientist, that science is independent of the belief system or the gender or the geographical location of the scientific investigator. And that's right. What I'm saying is that actually it's good to use the phrase the Christian scientist, because that is a scientist who does science as well as anyone else, but who brings to it a set of presuppositions that actually make more sense of it than, for example, the atheist, and also someone who finds that their engagement with nature enriches their faith. It's not about exclusive access to things. It's much more about the realization that science, which can be done by anyone, actually seems to work particularly well within the Christian way of looking at things. And that's something I think it's important to point out. I think we can talk of the Christian mind in a very general sense, and it means this deep Christian vision of reality. But I think we need to realize that we are all different, and that the Christian mind I have reflects who I am. And therefore I want to say each of us develops our own Christian mind, even though we can be helped by others as we seek to do that. I think one of the best ways of getting this Christian mind is by reading people who've tried very hard to develop it. And I think C.S. Lewis is a very good example of someone who has been captivated by this Christian vision of reality, moving from atheism to a Christian faith, and then in effect devoting the rest of his life to trying to express what this Christian mind is and the difference that it makes. He's a very good traveling companion as you walk down that road. I think that in developing the idea of a Christian mind, we need to bear 2 points in mind. Number one, that a Christian mind is best developed in dialogue with other Christian minds and with those who aren't Christians, who sharpen us, who in effect force us to think about things. So you need to make sure you keep in contact with those who don't share your faith. But secondly, you may realize that sometimes talking about being a Christian scientist or having a Christian mind means that your non-Christian colleagues feel uncertain about you. And therefore I want to say to you, it is important that you maintain excellence in your research and excellence in your scholarship. Being a Christian is no excuse for poor scholarship, poor research. I think I would have some advice to young Christians here in the Netherlands who are thinking about where they might go. Number one, stay with your discipline. We need you there. We need you in the academy, in the universities, in the professions, because you are going to be salt and light. And if you don't go there, then maybe there won't be anybody else. So we need you there. But secondly, don't just be great professionally and great academically. Try and integrate faith and your profession. Try and see the way in which your faith brings added depth and richness to your professional discipline, and also how it might raise questions about uncritical applications. It's a real area where we need people present. I want to encourage you to get in there, to stay there, and to make a difference. The Christian faith is about an ongoing journey of discovery. It doesn't stop with conversion, it starts.